Hey guys, Martin here from the Weekend Warrior, TSI and Buccas Outpost. Here to do our annual pre-event briefing. Just a video briefing that you can watch over the next few days to make sure you're up to speed on as much as you can be before we get to the field, get everything sorted out, and then do a quick run through of the briefing before we get into the game. So nice and simple. I've got bits and pieces to hold. The computer next to me is my prompts for the briefing. Now, other thing I just want to mention is I hope you had a wonderful Anzac Day yesterday. Had a nice day off in the rather crappy local weather. I joined Iggy for dawn service out at Canungra, which is quite nice with him there in his current uniform, and to enjoy the service. So hope you had a lovely Anzac Day. All right, so let's get straight into it. Everyone should hopefully have had a read through of the rules doc. It's on Facebook, it's been emailed out, it's on Discord. Please have a read through. Nothing has really changed from the previous 2 years bar the addition of the don't be a dick rule, and also minor changes to things like if a rocket or a grenade explodes outside of a building, you are no longer hurt inside, you are protected in there. Last year it wasn't classed as hardcover, this year it is. Alright, so very minor changes to the actual game rules, just the obvious basics. So teams have essentially been divided up. If you're not on Discord, the team listings are on there. If you're completely unaware of what team you're on, let us know. So please have a read through of this. One thing I am going to be doing, because it is a big concern for me, is everyone using 40mm or rockets or any projectile other than a gel ball. I need to assess them. Nothing can be used unless it is approved and tagged by myself. Okay, it's very important, very, very important. All right, have a read through the rules. All right, so basically, once you get out there, come to do the briefing in the evening. Now, the briefing is open Friday evening, 5:30 to 8 p.m. So is chronographing at the same time. All right, so we'll have staff at the check-in table, at the admin table, under the big shed. You can't really miss it. Get checked in. Everything we can do, get done then. Get your chronographing done. Blasters tagged. In the morning, if you didn't get checked in or chronographed on Friday, we've got check-in and chronograph from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. for 1 hour on Saturday morning. All right. Basically, from 7:15, we'll give you a call to bring everyone in. That's where we can make sure everyone's in their teams, their sections, etc. Now, we're not too concerned about the listings of players and sections, because the commanders can do whatever they want with that. 8 o'clock or as earlier if we can, so from say 7:40, something like that, 7:45, we will start the briefing to get into the game. Now, we want the game absolutely started by 9 o'clock. Okay, that means in field by 9 o'clock. On the admin table, all weekend we'll have things like this, little contact sheet for all the staff, phone numbers, etc. If anyone needs to contact a medic or the police or anything like that, all listed on here on the front counter. As far as radio channels for your own two-way radios on your sections, in the rules doc we have only listed basically the nominated channels for admin, the domination points, and command radio. Individual sections we've not listed because in previous years people haven't paid any attention to it anyway. If you're running a two-way radio, you must make sure you're only using legal channels within Australia. This will be on the front counter, the admin table, so you can choose your channels and your frequency to suit. Now, it's very important you make sure you do not use the emergency channels, data channels, repeater channels, and the not in use or do not use channels, okay? Now, as I said, don't use the channels listed in the rules doc, and if you do find that someone is already on that channel, then you just got to find another one. Simple as that. In the rules doc, and it has been emailed out, if you are unsure on the hit rules, this will also be on the front counter. It is really simple. Okay, essentially, you start the game, arrive and play. Duh. If you get hit by a gel on any part of your body, not including your blaster, you call your hit, and you basically start a 5-minute timer. That's a bleed out timer. If within that 5 minutes someone gets to you to buddy aid you with a white armband, with your white medic band, then you're back in the game. If you don't get medicked in that 5 minutes, you go back to respawn. Red rag on, off you go. If you do get medicked, you're back in the game. If you're wearing a 5 kilo or more weighted plate system, and that does not include the weight of your gear, then you have a second white band. So if you get hit again wearing white plates, you have a 5-minute timer for someone to apply your second band. If your 5-minute timer runs out and you bleed out, red rag on, off to respawn. If you do not have your weighted plates, if you're running a single white band only, your medic has to get to you within that 5 minutes to apply their yellow band. If the medic does not get to you in the 5 minutes, you're off to respawn. Now, if at any point you're wearing your yellow band and you get hit again, you are dead and you have to go back to respawn. So 5-minute bleed out, head back to respawn. Anyone at respawn, it is a 5-minute respawn point. So your death time is 5 minutes to bleed out. Your walk time, your respawn time, and your walk back into the game time. It could be half an hour, could be more, could be less, depending what you want to do. So please make sure you're very familiar with this. The respawn points are on the maps that have been provided, okay? The 2 love hearts around the center of the field, 2/3 of the way up the field and 1/3 of the way at the bottom of the field. Pretty simple. When you're at the respawn, please have a drink, all right? And we do have what we call the 20-meter re-entry zone. So when you come out of respawn, please do not, if you're near a respawn, please do not shoot people as soon as they come out of respawn. Give them a chance to get back in the bush and disappear into the field before getting shot at. Now the last thing, if the medics are unsure about the medic ruling, you can take one of these with you. We've got a handful printed. It's exactly the same as the things we just ran through here. All right, now every section will have a medic, and the medics will be provided a purple band, an elasticated band. Medics can change throughout the event. You just need to wear the medic band and swap it over, and medics can only carry maximum of 6 yellow bands at any one time. All right, so let's run through the briefing. So, by the time you're at the briefing, you must be checked in, you must be wearing your wristband, and you must have done your chronographing, okay? If you have not, we can get it done after the briefing, but it cannot delay the start of the game. Anyone using mortars or 40mm must be checked by myself and marked. If a projectile gets found on the field and is not marked, then the person that fired it will be in trouble. Now, of course, extreme paramount, safety glasses on the field at all times, even at night, okay, especially at night. Now, if you're planning on sleeping in field, then to take your glasses off, you must be in some form of completely enclosed sleep system, okay? So if you're not in a tent that's fully zipped up, for example, or a swag, not that I recommend it, you must leave your glasses on at all time. Highly recommended if you're wearing tinted safety glasses throughout the day, that you bring clears on you at all times to have on you ready for the evening. Now, throughout the game, if you hear no duff, no duff, no duff, or someone shouting stop, 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 that is a game stoppage. So stop where you are and wait for further command. It could be 30 seconds, it could be 30 minutes. It generally means that there's a medical issue or some form of major issue that the game basically has to stop for us to organize it. Okay, we've never called a stoppage at our events. We've always dealt with anything without hindering all the other players on the field. If you hear someone call ceasefire or something like that, that is probably within the game. That is not a stop, 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 or a no duff. That is an in-game ceasefire. So that could be part of the game, strategic, bit of fun. Being out in the bush, I highly recommend, even during the day, you limit how much you run, okay, for a safety factor. Running on dead flat grass ground or a dirt track is easy. Running on that same surface, carrying all your gear in a gel blaster, still not hard, but it's still an increased chance of falling over. Running on uneven ground with sticks and twigs, divots, ruts, fallen trees, dead wood everywhere, very high chance of falling over. So be extreme caution when running during the day, please, if avoided at all. Running at night, no go. Please don't run at night. Be super careful even with a light jog. It's very easy to fall over at night. Okay, you cannot see your ground, your feet, even if you're wearing nods. Of course, if you're using a torch, you more than likely can see where you're going. but please limit your running at night to absolutely nothing. Even without running at night, just be super careful, okay? Much increased chance of an incident, of falling over, tripping over, kicking something, even, you know, stabbing your leg on a stick, all right? Just be very, very, very careful. Now, it's family-friendly event. We do have kids under 18 with us. Regardless of whether it's kids or not, 100% zero aggression, no verbal abuse, nothing physical. If anything along those lines happens, you will be asked to leave the property. If you don't leave the property, the police will be organised. Okay, it's not something that we even consider on our game radar. As part of that, thank you to Oswan Airsoft. I have incorporated their ruling this year, which is the don't be a dick rule. It basically encompasses everything outside of the rules. If you, in your head, have a thought pattern of, shit, maybe I shouldn't say that, or I'll bite my tongue on this one, just don't say it, okay? If someone says to you, don't be a dick, don't retaliate, just stop, leave it there, don't be a dick rule, very obvious. Now in the field, you can put your gear bag down and come back to it hours later. Your camping gear, your food, spare blasters. No one is to touch anyone's private equipment or an apparel or stashed goods. If you come across a stash of people's bags, do not touch it. If you touch their bags or move their stuff, it's theft. You've just stolen it. You do not have approval to touch anyone's gear. So to that extent, you can leave your gear on the field and have trust that no one is going to touch it. Simple as that. If you, within game, feel the need to search someone, we do have our theft of Buccas bucks, where you can steal a maximum $100 off each player when you kill them. You must ask for their consent, and I don't suggest rummaging through people's pockets. You simply say to them, can you empty that pocket, please? Can you empty that pocket, please? Okay, around the safe zone. During the game time, in the safe zone, of course, you shouldn't have to wear your safety glasses if anyone is in the safe zone. So we have a 20-meter soft perimeter around the safe zone marked with red and white tape. In the players that are in the bush and getting close to the safe zone, if you enter into that 20-meter soft safe zone, do not shoot into the safe zone. If someone's chasing you in, you simply can't shoot into the safe zone. You can shoot out, away from it at people, but not in. If you're in the safe zone and you see players coming towards you that are shooting towards you, look away or put your glasses on. Now, being it is a rural property, there's trees, there's all sorts of stuff all over the place, please do not climb the trees or climb on anything. You can sit on a deadwood, sit on this stump, but don't climb off the ground, please. The last thing we need is someone falling 20 meters out of a tree. It's just not necessary. There's no advantage sitting up high, so don't do it. We will have 4 portaloos on site. Toilet paper, cleaning stuff, all provided. Please keep them clean. If you leave a mess in those portaloos, and if it is known who it is making a mess, you will not be welcome to use them. You'll be told to keep out. Okay? And if you make a real mess, you'll be told to leave the property. These toilets are not mine. They're not yours. They're everyone's to use. It's not none of the staff's job to clean up after you. So you clean up after yourself. I'll provide the cleaning stuff to do it. If the toilets are overly dirty, they will be locked. Simple. Gels. As far as the gels go, they must be your normal store-bought super absorbent hydrolyzed polymer gel. Not gel balls that start at 6mm and grow to 7mm. They must start out like a normal gel ball does at around about 1.5 millimeters in diameter, radius, whatever it is, and grown with water. Okay, nothing else. No plastic BBs, no silicone, no metal, no nothing else. If it is a rubbery based gel ball, it is not approved for use at Buccas Outpost. We do not have a limit of gels you can use and carry. That's entirely up to you. We want you to shoot as much as you can, as much as you want to. You just obviously have to carry it. Now, during the night phase, we would like as many people as we can to have play all through the night. Ideally, I want everyone to continue into the game until around about 9 p.m. I ask you, please stay on the field until about 9 p.m. Even once it's gone dark, because it's fun. We're doing stuff. We want you to enjoy it. We want everyone to enjoy it. The more people on the field still till about 9 p.m. or something like that, absolutely the better. Now, if you want to come off the field and go into the safe zone for dinner, for a lay down, for change your boots, change your undies, whatever you want to do, feel free to do so. But please let your team commander know that you have left the field. Because if he still thinks you're out there on the field and you're not, then you're no good to him and you're not safe in that sense. We need you to let him know when you're off the field, please. During the night, please do not move around on your own. Please stay in pairs or in groups. Obvious reason is if someone falls over and hurts themselves and you're on your own, we don't know where you are, we can't deal with it. So always stick together, no solo adventures, and like before, no running around, please. When you come back onto the field, and you're welcome to come back onto the field during the night, you can head off for a couple of hours and come back in and play the rest of the night if you want to. You can go off the field for the whole night and just come back on for the morning if you want to. But I would like to say all players that are playing Sunday need to be back on the field by 7 a.m. Okay? In that the night phase is continuing on straight through. The game is not stopping. We are not calling a restart or a start or anything. So you need to get on the field to your commander so he can use you for the missions and the domination points throughout the day. Domination is, one of them is staying open all night. So there's something to fight for all night. You need to protect your flag all night and maybe even attack to try and steal the opponent's flag. Now, the boundaries are even more simple than ever. Okay? The eastern side got that 50-meter wide coal seam gas trunk line. The open space of grass, that's your boundary, do not cross it. The southern boundary and the northern boundary are essentially a wire fence that have colored tape all the way along them. The fence may have fallen, so the wire tape might be on the colored tape might be on trees marking the boundaries, but the wire fence or the colored markers is your north and south boundaries. Your western boundary is the flowing creek that is run through the property from south to north. Okay? Do not cross the creek. Simple. So you're contained within a creek, a gas trunk line, and 2 fences. At the start of the game, every player must be carrying at least 3 liters of water. Okay? Now, ideally, you shouldn't be then carrying that water and then putting it at your base or something like that. Okay? You need to be carrying water on your person all day. Not putting it down and then picking it up later on, because you're already dehydrated by then. I suggest taking a minimum of 6 liters of water with you, as a minimum, if you're planning on staying on the field the whole time. Of course, if you're planning on coming off, you can refill. But if you're staying on the field with the goal of playing the whole event on the field, minimum of 6 liters. That's 3 liters a day, obviously. Now, the teams this year are not color dependent as far as what you're wearing. Ideally, the Royalists will be wearing camouflage. Ideally, the Stripes will be wearing anything bar camouflage. But it doesn't matter. You can wear anything you want, any colors you want, purely because the Stripes team will be wearing a colored stripe on their arm. That is the single primary identifier of what team you're on, is a colored stripe. Now, if you're wearing a ghillie suit or anything over your main shirt, you still have to make sure your colored stripe is visible at all times. I.e., your team need to know who you are, and your enemy need to be able to see that stripe. Okay, we've been through the hit rules. Okay, 5-minute bleed out. When you get shot, and let's say no one's medicated you pretty quickly, make some noises, die on the ground, all right? LARP it up for the camera. We do have an award this year for the best action on camera, all right? So if you die or do something cool on camera, you could be in the running for one of our prizes. Now, if you are in the way when you die, if no one has medicated you, just move to the side a little bit so people can keep shooting. Don't just stand there and obviously meat shield and block someone. Just move out the way a couple of meters so the game can carry on. Something that's very important that people tend to forget is friendly hits count. So if you shoot your mate accidentally, he's dead. He needs to be medicated. Gun hits do not count. Just anything you are wearing, i.e., if a bullet would pass or a gel would pass through it and hit your body, you're dead. But not a gel, not a blaster. We've been through the white bands. White band for medic, for be budding aiding, if you're not wearing a 5 kilo weight. If you're wearing 5 kilos of weights, then you get 2 armbands. Now the armbands this year are quite long. Please don't have them wrapped around just once with a long amount of wastage. Wrap it around a few times and tie it up as if it's a bandage. That is fully intentional to make it slower to buddy aid people and medicated, to slow it down. Instead of it being a 2-second dummy tie and run off, we want the medicing to be a 20-30 second event. All right. Been through that. Okay, grenades and mortars and rockets. A grenade, if it holds gels, if it's an ejecting grenade, it must eject gels. If it doesn't eject gels, even if it explodes with no gels in it, it's classed as a dud. Okay, grenades that throw gels, or grenades, i.e. thunder bees that just make a bang, then they have a 2.5 meter hit radius from the point of where it first impacted and exploded. Not where it rolled to, or where it bounced off, or where it ended up. It's where it exploded, the first point of contact. If you're within that 2.5 meter radius of a grenade hit, you are dead. No medicing available. Same with a mortar and a rocket. You have a 5 meter radius, so they have a bigger explosion range than a grenade. Same deal. Where it first hits the floor, not where it ends up rolling to. If it's a mortar, where it comes in and lands right there, 5 meters from that point, no medic, you are dead. If you're behind hardcover, i.e. in one of the buildings we have on the property, whether it be a material wraparound or the hard shed style buildings, you are not dead if you're in that building. If it lands right next to an open door and you're in the building behind the open door, you're dead. Behind a wall, you're not. Just laying behind a fallen tree or something like that, one of the very small timber barricades, you're dead. You're not in a building. Medic, 1 medic per section, okay? That may have a variance depending on what myself and the 2 commanders decide on Friday evening. You may end up with 2 medics per section because the sections, per group, because you may have 2 sections that are combined, okay? So essentially the ruling is 1 medic for a group between 6 and 14 players. If there's a group of 20 players that are moving together, then you'll probably have 2 medics. Okay, the medics can only carry a maximum of 6 yellow armbands, and they can be restocked by your faction commander, or if there is already some at the respawn, you can take them from there. Same as we said before with the respawn point, it's a 5-minute bleed out, travel time to the respawn, and a 5-minute at the respawn. Please have a good drink of water while you're there, and a bite to eat if you can. Don't forget the 20-meter safe engagement zone, re-engagement zone around the respawn. We have 2 shared respawn points. One is around 1/3 up the field. One is at 2/3 of the field, pretty much straight down the middle. They're on the same track, but one to the south, one to the north. From 12 p.m. on Sunday, i.e. for the last 2 hours of the game, those respawn points will close. At the same time, the domination points will close. And then your basic mission will be, to converge. At that point, event staff wearing fluoro vests will be your respawn, and it will be made very clear at that point. Respawn for one team, respawn for another team. We have the 2 domination points for the event. The primary domination point opens at game start at 9 a.m. and closes at 12 p.m. Sunday. It's open all night. The secondary domination point opens at game start on 9 a.m. on Saturday, but closes at 5 p.m. on Saturday. It's open for daylight hours only Saturday, reopens Sunday morning at 9 and closes at 12, so it is not open through the night. Maximum, as I said before, that you can steal from a player dollars-wise is 100 Buccas bucks. We've got missions, domination, and the holding your flag. You can't win the game on domination. Well, you probably can't win the game on domination points only. You need to do some missions to get the points. Okay, if your team has lost its flag and does not have the flag at the end of the game, if your commander is not carrying his flag at the end of the game, instant loss. Okay, If you or anyone in your team manage to retrieve the opposition's flag, it must be immediately taken back to your commander, and it must be stored with your team flag. So where your flag will be hanging on a tree, there will be another tube for the opposing team. So the opposing team must be able to fight to get their flag back. You can't hide it, otherwise they don't know where to find it. Okay, so for Buccas Bucks to be counted towards the game points, they must be in your team's cash tin at the end. Sorry about that, I just had to pause it to sneeze. Yeah, your Buccas Bucks, all your bucks must be in the cash tin at the end for it to go towards your final points tally. Now at the event, there'll be lots and lots of first aiders there, okay, on players on the field, etc. So at the briefing, I'll ask if anyone is also a first aider, so people can pop their hands up and just be aware of who else might be able to help. If there's a small boo-boo on the field, that might be quick and easy for Bob to help Jane right there and then, instead of it being a potential no-duff and myself or Iggy or Kurt or any of the other admin crew getting out to you to assist you with the medic scenario. Now, of course, Buccas is a wild rural property. It is green at the moment. There's been a lot of rain. It's green. There is kangaroos and wildlife around. I did not see any snakes out there the other week, but I did see kangaroos. Do not shoot the wildlife, please. Completely unnecessary, completely unneeded. Do not shoot them. There's lizards, birds. Just be sensible. Do not shoot at the wildlife. Now, for those sleeping in the field, no open fires for cooking, please. You can use a camp stove, a gas stove or a gas cooker or whatever you call them. Use it on the ground. Move any sticks and burnable stuff out the way. Put it on the soil, on the dirt, and use it there. Very important, no fires, please. In the safe zone, you can have your fires. It is green enough in the safe zone to have a campfire, but must not be near tents. It's got to be off to the side and very obvious to where the campfire is. Not on a thoroughfare and not under trees, okay? Clear away dry stuff to make sure you don't cause a bushfire. On the Sunday evening, we will have our big campfire for everyone to join around. And I plead with you, if you're staying Sunday evening, and please do stay Sunday evening, don't sit off in the corner with your own campfire. Come and join the big group. Single-handedly has been the best hour of both the last 2 years has been around that campfire around about 7 p.m. at night. Okay, excuse me my sniffing. Now, as far as smokers on the field, I have no problem with you smoking your cigarette out on the field. Of course, bin your butts. Do not chuck it out on the field. Do not drop your ash on the floor. I ask you please not to smoke near people that are not smokers. They do not want to smell it. And it also will give away your team's position from quite a way. So smoke sensibly. No smoking in the safe zone, please. Just go off down the track towards the front gate and have a cigarette 50 meters out the way. Pretty obvious. No drugs or alcohol on the field, please. I've got no harm with you having a drink on Sunday evening. Please do not be drinking Friday or Saturday night in the safe zone, because if you're intoxicated and we believe you're intoxicated, we won't have alcohol testing, but if we believe you are during the game, you'll be out. Okay? It is a little bit of a joke now within the close group towards me about a bag of panda. If you know the joke, you're probably going to see some bag of panda this coming week. All right, 2 p.m. Sunday when the game ends. All right, we'll have a quick index debrief right there and then. Alrighty, it will be the last one. All come together, have a chat, and I want to get a group photo of everyone together at the game end. Everyone that's made it to the end. Get a head count so we can see who played both all the way to the end, and also I want to get a final number of everyone that played the whole night, because I just love to know. Then we'll head off the field back to the safe zone. Anyone that needs to depart, go for it. Anyone that is hanging around, fantastic. We'll get that fire going at dark around that 6 p.m. kind of time. Now, one thing I ask, please, last year was really bad. 2023 wasn't too bad. Is please do not leave your rubbish in the safe zone for me to take home. Last year, there was piles and piles of rubbish. People had brought a bin bag and just left it there. There is no rubbish collection. I would have to take it home for you, which is just not on. Please do not leave broken camping equipment lying around. Don't decide to throw a broken tent, gazebo kind of thing in one of the shipping containers. If it's yours and it's broken, take it home. Okay, please do not leave rubbish on site. Last year we had, as I said, about 20 bags of rubbish to deal with. On your way home, once you get off Montrose Road back onto Cogan Road, about 2 k's this side of Cogan. Before you get to Cogan, on the left-hand side, there is a public rubbish disposal right there. If you pass that, beyond Cogan, once you get towards the wet area, the creek crossings before the first of the 2 Y intersections back into Dalby, or the T intersections into Dalby, there's wheelie bins on the left-hand side, in kind of like a service area right after those creeks. Chuck your rubbish there, all right? Please do not just dump it in the shipping containers. It's your rubbish. Please take it with you. That's about it. 31 minutes. Briefing done. Any questions? Tough. See you out there for questions. So you're welcome to get there, from lunchtime Friday. Come in, set up, claim a small area for your whole team if you want to, but if someone else tries to bump into that space, there's not too much we can do about it. If you want to try and rope off an area that you think is a fair use of that space for your crew, go for it. We've got around about 110 players, give or take, so no, not as many as last year. Last year, 167, so we should have considerably more room than last year, which is cool. So yeah, come in from lunchtime, set up your stuff. Please don't come over to the admin table and say, can I check in at 2 o'clock? You know full well it's only in the evening. We won't be there anyway. We will be off setting stuff up. So on Friday, please do not head off onto the field and go for a walk around. Please do not shoot your gel blasters off in the bush. Go to the range. It is supposed to be no dry firing in the safe zone. No shooting of gels in the safe zone, please. That way safety glasses are not a thing. Please go to the firing range, which is next to the admin shed, where there's targets set up for you to shoot at, to test your blasters. All right? If someone shouts out, no firing in the safe zone, that's because someone's firing in the safe zone. If you hear a loud horn blow, it's probably trying to tell someone to stop shooting their blaster and or get your attention to call you in to briefing or something like that. All right, guys, 1 week left. This time next week, we will be on the field, ready to go. Or we would have started by this time next week. Thank you very much, guys. Hope you have a wonderful week. I'll see you at Buccas on Friday. Let's go.